What's up, motherfuckers? You're listening to Fuck I Love Wrestling. My name's Grams Green.
Oh, Boogie.
Today we're going to be talking about a mix of things. We're going to do 15 best and 10 worst wrestling gimmicks. We couldn't fit all 10 that we love, so we had to do 15.
Well, there's a bunch of them that were just too obscure to put on there, but were just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and we could probably do 100 bad wrestling gimmicks. But to keep it nice and short, we're doing 15. And we're also going to talk about some news that's going on right now in the world of wrestling. First thing I really want to talk about is the possibility. So there was an investor call last week with the WWE investors, and Vince said the possibility of canceling the WWE app. What do you think about that?
I think if he goes back to the old pay-per-view, spend $50 to get WrestleMania, then I think it's a joke. But what I've heard is a possibility is that the big four will all be on Fox, and then all the other pay-per-views, the other 8, will all be on ESPN Plus. And I don't think that's that bad. I mean, I get ESPN Plus anyways, so it doesn't bother me. And I don't have cable, but I would get cable for Fox. I would get cable for the big 3, the big 4.
Yeah.
So I think but if he goes back to the stupidity of being, $55 for a pay-per-view, I mean, it's not worth it no matter what. When was the last time there's a WrestleMania that you would actually say, wow, man, I'd pay $50 to see that shit? So, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do it, though, because I think if he... What is it up to, like 9 million viewers? Something like that? It's not outrageously huge, but it's enough that it carries the company.
I think it's like 2 million viewers.
2 million.
But a lot of people share. A lot of people share, and a lot of people cancel and sign up during WrestleMania season.
Right.
I think there's going to be fan backlash.
Oh, yeah.
For one, personally, I like the app. I like watching a lot of the territory wrestling.
Yeah. I like
old school
the
wrestling.
documentary shows are really good.
Documentary shows. I just like having the option of going back and watching old pay-per-views. Yeah. I don't know how many people are actually doing that. I haven't seen the metrics on that. But personally, I think I'd be pretty pissed off if they got rid of the app. And the fan base is already used to not paying $50 a month for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell they're going to go back.
And how could they do a takeover pay-per-view? No one's going to pay for that.
I think people would pay for it, but they're not going to pay $50 for it.
Right. I mean, how much are the AEW pay-per-views? Like $20, right?
No, they're $50 for the next one next month is $50.
What is the significance of the next one that makes it $50?
That's the thing. The build-up hasn't been great for it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched AEW this week, and there wasn't much of a build-up.
Well, the main angle is the Cody Rhodes MJF, the lashing. I think the AEW fan base is pretty rabid. They're going to have a lot of people paying for it, but not up to the standards
of
the
WWE.
No, I think the pay-per-view model just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Currently.
I mean, if they do get rid of the app, it means I'll be watching a lot more AEW. I'll be watching a lot more NWA.
Yeah.
And I'll probably still watch NXT, but I'm not sure if it's going to make me turn away from the main roster of WWE.
Well, what do you think about keeping the app but moving the bigger pay-per-views, maybe the 4 big pay-per-views over to Fox?
I think that's fine. I mean, the app is good for... I would still... If they got rid of all of the pay-per-views altogether, I'd still probably keep the app.
Yeah.
Because I like NXT. Like you said, I like looking at all the old AEW, or, USAW, whatever the hell, Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah.
I like all that old shit.
NWA, AWA, Mid-South.
Yeah, it's cool for people who are into the history of wrestling. It's cool.
I love the territory. Right now, I'm in a hole. I've been listening to a lot of Jim Cornette.
Yeah, Jim Cornette's great, and also Stone Cold show is awesome. The interview show.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with the territory era of wrestling. Just the culture of wrestling and how a guy could be a big star in one territory, and when the crowd gets kind of sick of him,
go somewhere else and be a big star.
Yeah, and it allowed the wrestlers to learn how to get over on their own.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these guys got over in every territory they went to.
Well, just imagine how it was in those days. I mean, one day you're in Memphis, and then the next day you have to be in Atlanta, so you have to drive in your car. There's no bus, there's no chartered planes. I mean, this is small-time shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And partying behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Real shoots all the time.
Yeah, they didn't have the dietitians that they do now.
Right.
They didn't have, these guys were, having to basically live on the road, hotel to hotel, with the ring rats and the partying.
I mean, when you look at the Von Erichs, they're really not that big.
They're in good shape.
They're in good shape, but they weren't WWE big.
No, that was the whole steroid era, the 80s. was when guys got really big. I mean, you see a lot of guys in the territories that have big beer guts, but they are big, strong dudes.
Like Arn Anderson.
Like Arn Anderson builds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't personally. They said if anything happens, it's going to be at the end of this quarter, financial quarter.
When does this quarter end?
So after WrestleMania.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be this WrestleMania. It'd probably be the first one would be SummerSlam, which won't affect us. We're going to be at SummerSlam anyway. So because we live in Massachusetts, it's at Boston this year. But I think it's a bad idea.
Horrible idea.
I think the company's so cash flush right now because of the Saudi Arabia deal and because of the $1 billion deal they signed with Fox, the 5-year deal.
Yeah.
They're richer than they've ever been, even though viewership
is way down. I mean,
viewership of let me give you a comparison. Viewership of Raw this week was like a 2 point something. It was the same viewership as the last episode of WCW.
Okay, but in with the Monday Night Wars at its highest, there's like 9.4s, 10.5s.
Yeah,
like it was huge.
That just doesn't happen anymore for any shows.
Well, I think wrestling ebbs and flows. I mean, wrestling has high points and low points, and I think right now it's kind of in the middle. It's like I think WWE doesn't really know where it wants to go, so it's constantly pushing new guys after new guys and throwing people away after they don't use them anymore. And it's like they don't seem to have a continuity to WWE.
I mean, they do and they don't, and they have a lot of talent. But this is the problem: is the whole model is changing right now. I mean, a lot of people. I don't have cable TV.
Yeah.
You know, people find other ways to watch Raw, like I do. But a lot of people my age and younger don't have cable TV.
Yeah.
So they're not they may love wrestling and watch wrestling, but their views aren't going into these network ratings, and it's not really correlating with how many people are actually watching the product.
Well, the app would be much more popular if they did what they originally did, which was put Raw on like 3 or 4 days later.
Yeah.
So like on Thursday night you can watch Raw. I mean, it's not live, but still you can watch Raw. And it was better in those days. Now it's like, you miss Raw. It's like
well, like what they do with NXT. NXT's on the same week.
Yeah.
It's not the same day. I wait a couple days and I watch NXT on the app.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'd be getting these $1 billion deals with Fox if they were just putting SmackDown on the same day.
Yeah.
They
can't do SmackDown. You're right. But I think
I think maybe a 2 weeks. Put Raw on 2 weeks after it airs on TV the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just also when the app originally came out, there wasn't so much competition with other streaming services.
Right. And
Disney, CBS.
Right.
Back then it was Netflix and Hulu, really.
Yeah, and since then AEW has really stepped up, NWA has really stepped up. Ring of Honor's always been there, but it's stepping up. And they're kind of, all these different territories or whatever, not territories anymore, but these different shows.
Yeah, they're territories.
They're all almost like it's working together. Like all the people who watch AEW watch TNA or WWE. Pause it.
Yeah, and I think the advantage that a company like NWA has is they're a lot lighter. They have a smaller roster, they share with ROH. A lot of the guys jump between ROH and NWA.
Yeah, and knowledgeable, long-time wrestling fans will actually notice these dudes from NWA because there's like the Pope.
Yeah, the Pope.
Magnus. And,
yeah.
There's guys there, none of these guys were top tier even in TNA. Well, Pope was.
Magnus was
too, but he was.
They had their runs.
They had runs, but they weren't like consistently top rung of the TNA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. I like it because there's a lot of new guys too. They're pretty dope. And I've always liked Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, I love to see Ring of Honor live. And it's just so out of control. People throwing their chairs into the ring and it's just totally crazy.
I think Ring of Honor's kind of died down with the ascension of AEW.
Yeah.
And NWA coming back. I think that what the problem right now and the problem we're going to see in the next few years is the fact that WWE is signing these guys to long-term contracts to keep the talent away from other companies and then not using them, paying these guys $500,000 a year to sit at home.
But I bet you some of these guys don't mind. I mean,
of course they don't mind, but they're missing their opportunity
to make more money in the future.
In the prime of their career, too, for a legacy. These guys become wrestlers not to make a ton of money, but because they love wrestling.
Well, what's going to happen is you're going to have your first wave of guys who sign these big contracts and don't go on TV, and you're going to have the second string of guys looking at the second generation be like, I'm not going to do that.
No. Why would I do that?
Yeah, why would I sit at home and I have no heat, I come back and I'm just another jobber.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you might get a generation of guys, like a group of guys who do that, and then after that, people are just gonna turn it off and they're not gonna sign with WWE.
Yeah, we're gonna start seeing guys in WWE not re-signing. Yeah. I think that's gonna happen this year, and it looks like it might be happening right now with Rusev. Yeah, Rusev isn't right now. He's in contract dispute with WWE. He's been off TV this week.
Yeah.
And his Bobby Lashley angle was probably the biggest angle on Raw. The thing that makes me think he might re-sign is his wife, Lana, just signed a 5-year deal.
Yeah, but if he's not getting used, I mean...
He is. I mean, he's at the top of the card.
Yeah.
Rusev has been the main angle with Bobby Lashley on Raw. I think that the money is just not great enough. I would love to see Rusev.
I don't think Rusev is an A1 wrestler, though. I think he's a pretty solid B, but I don't think he's an A.
I think he's the potential to be an A. I think Rusev would be one of the main guys in AEW.
Oh, yeah. In AEW, he's huge.
He's getting used in WWE, but he's in a stupid fucking angle. That angle with Bobby Lashley and Lana. And he can't... I'm sorry, if my wife was in an angle as a valet for another guy and doing these weird angles where she's in bed with him, I'd be pretty uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
He's probably not very comfortable with the situation.
No, that, but let's face it, Bobby Lashley can't wrestle. I mean, he's just a big, strong guy.
He's a big, strong guy.
He can't wrestle for shit.
So, I personally would like to see Rusev go to AEW. What do you think about it, though?
I'd love to see him go to AEW. AEW has a real lack of big guys.
Yeah.
And I think he would dominate over there. I could see him having a title run there.
Yeah. And I wanted to see Killer Cross, but Killer Cross got signed up quickly after leaving Impact. Signed up quickly with WWE. Let's see if they actually use him. I heard that they are fast-tracking him to Raw. I mean, he's fast. He looks great. He's skilled. He's great on the stick.
But they're skipping a whole bunch of guys. Like, they throw Finn Balor back down.
I think Finn Balor chose to go back down. I think Finn Balor, he kind of needed a retool. And I'm liking his heel work right now.
Yeah, I like him as a heel, too. But, I mean, he's way more talented.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to the point, though, where NXT isn't a developmental territory anymore.
No, it's a real actual...
It's an actual... Legit. And I think we're going to start seeing more guys choose to stay.
Yeah,
like Tommaso Ciampa said, if they put him on the main roster, he would leave the company.
Yeah, because he wouldn't get the heat.
He wants to stay in NXT and work a reduced schedule because of all the neck injuries he's had.
Plus, Ciampa's nasty.
Ciampa's the best.
I can't see him like being a B card or a C card in a fucking Raw or SmackDown. If he was going to go to Raw or SmackDown, he'd have to be the top of the list.
Yeah, I think he's the best. I think he's the best part about NXT right now.
Right now, he is.
Him and Keith Lee and Adam Cole and the whole Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era is pretty kick-ass.
And another guy, Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's great on NXT. The bro. Matt Riddle's getting some heat backstage.
He's a bastard backstage.
Okay, so we all know that he got a face-to-face confrontation with Goldberg about a month ago, maybe a couple months ago. And he called out Lesnar on Twitter, saying he's going to be the guy to retire Lesnar. And then had a little confrontation with Lesnar because of that at the Royal Rumble. And Lesnar said, "Kid, I'm never going to work with you. I'm never going to work with you."
That's a bad
and
move. Because
of that heat, he got thrown out of the Royal Rumble in like 2 seconds. He was originally supposed to have a good showing in the Rumble. And then, Politics. And then WWE comes down to NXT and says, guys, you can't be challenging guys up on the main roster. You can't be calling out guys and starting wrestling angles without getting permission from the company. And here he does it again.
Well, what I've heard about Matt Riddle is that he just doesn't give a shit. He'll challenge anybody at any time. And I think Lesnar's the same guy. Lesnar doesn't give a shit either. He'll fight whoever. Well, I obviously see one fight Matt Riddle.
Well, that's what superstars are supposed to do. They're not supposed to be scared of the company.
Oh, yeah.
They're supposed to say, you guys need me more than I need you.
Right.
He comes in. Matt Riddle comes in. He has the attitude. He has the personality. He acts like a star. And he does what he wants to do. This is what stars used to do. They used to take... This is when Stone Cold says reaching for the brass ring. This is what it means. Going off script.
Yeah.
And taking a chance and believing in yourself. And I think Riddle... if Vince McMahon has to realize that Riddle has this star potential. He's not just going to eat the shit that the company gives him. He's going to make opportunities for himself within the company.
And I think Lesnar's at a point in his career where he should start putting guys over. I mean, I could see him having more title runs, but
Yeah.
he's got to put some dudes over.
Well, he has no problem putting guys over. I mean, he put both Rollins and what's his name? Fucking Reigns over. He put both of them over. Right now he's on a little bit of an unstoppable streak. They're building him up, so when he does put the next guy over, that rub means
huge.
more.
Yeah.
And I think that guy's going to be Keith Lee at SummerSlam. I don't think it's going to be Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre is going to have a great showing at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Look great, but I don't think he's the guy to beat Lesnar. I think Keith Lee is the guy to beat Lesnar at SummerSlam.
I hope Goldberg's not that guy, because Goldberg sucks, man.
Well, let's talk about Goldberg. So Goldberg challenged Wyatt on SmackDown this week. A video package. He called in. He said, seeing the Royal Rumble match between Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan really motivated me to come back and wrestle Bray Wyatt against in front of my son. But in reality, he just wanted that Saudi blood money payday.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at the opportunities he chooses to come back. He comes back on all the big paydays.
Yeah.
He's not on TV.
He's not a real wrestler, man.
No.
He's not. He's a fucking gimmick wrestler. He's got one move.
Yeah. He didn't grow up with the business. He never loved the business.
No.
He says, "Oh, I want to be a superhero in front of my son."
Do you remember back?
And he says, "I want to be a superhero in front of my son." And I'm sure a lot of that's true, but the fact that he comes back for these big payday Saudi shows and not for other pay-per-views, it says something.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that when we went to the mall and Goldberg was there?
Yeah.
Do you remember the heat he had? The line was going through the whole mall.
Yeah.
And like that just died overnight.
Yeah.
Like now, if Goldberg goes places, it's gonna be like a comic book store.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
I don't know. I think it depends. I think wrestling was so big. This was in the late '90s. We went to the mall, and there is a huge line for a signing for him. This was like '99.
'99, yeah.
This was during. No, this was '98 because he was still undefeated.
That's right. This is during the streak.
This is during the streak.
Yeah.
And this. I mean, wrestling was hotter than it's ever been.
Since the
1950s, since the golden age of wrestling, it was the hottest that it had been since the 1950s at that point. And I have to say, at that time, I liked Goldberg a lot, but I didn't like him as much as I liked Sting or other guys.
Well, that's when I stopped liking him, is when they started having real guys job to him. I remember Diamond Dallas Page job to him, and that pissed me off.
Yeah,
I was like, what are you doing?
Or Chris Jericho job to him. That also pissed me off.
That's awful.
Yeah, so obviously we want to see Bray Wyatt beat Goldberg.
Destroy Goldberg.
If they build up Bray Wyatt and then to have Goldberg beat him,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt needs the rub to make him even more undefeated. So when whoever beats him, probably Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, he gets that rub with the title.
Well, and if Goldberg does win, he's got to fight WrestleMania. He can't.
Well, he's gonna. Yeah, I think that's the idea. That if I think Goldberg's going to be at WrestleMania either way.
Yeah, as a top ticket guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to see him at WrestleMania, but they're going to have those attraction matches.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Goldberg with the title at WrestleMania.
No, I don't want to see Goldberg with the title.
I don't want to see that at all.
Ever.
So Bray Wyatt has to go over.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt is an over Fiend. I mean, he does really good as a Fiend.
Yeah, people love the Fiend.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen at WrestleMania? Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. It's gonna happen at WrestleMania.
I think Roman Reigns wins.
Yeah, I think so too. But who's gonna be more over? I mean, Bray Wyatt is over as a heel, and people love him. Do they make the babyface change where Bray Wyatt is the babyface and Roman Reigns goes heel at WrestleMania?
I think that
the double turn.
I think that since the beginning, Roman Reigns has gotten a rough deal, man. I mean, people don't like him because he's supposedly the chosen one or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's always been a solid wrestler.
Yeah.
He has okay mic skills. He's gotten a lot better in the mic. When he first showed up, he's just like grunting. I like Roman Reigns. I don't think he's overused. I think he, as far as a top card kind of guy, he's used no more than like any of the other guys that are up there. I think he'll win though. I think he'll definitely beat the Fiend.
I think this is the problem this is where it started with Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan was the hottest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns won that Royal Rumble. Everyone wanted Bryan. And it backlashed on him. And at that point, everyone knew Reigns was the chosen one. He was the weak link in the Shield, but got the biggest push out of the Shield.
Yeah.
And it turns out the other two guys were bigger stars than him.
Yeah. Dean Ambrose definitely.
Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are bigger stars.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns hasn't gotten better. He hasn't gotten that much better. His moveset, he hasn't added many moves or any new tricks.
But he's not as stiff as he used to be. He takes good falls.
Yeah.
Because when he first showed up, he's stiff as all hell.
Yeah. I mean, his match with Baron Corbin was trash at Royal Rumble.
That's also Baron Corbin's fault. I mean, he sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So Roman Reigns, I think Roman Reigns is going to go over. I think they'd be smart to do a double turn. Because Bray Wyatt is so over. And no matter what, in front of that WrestleMania crowd, Roman Reigns is going to get booed.
Oh, yeah.
And Bray Wyatt's going to get cheered. Because that's the smart crowd. The family-friendly crowds love Roman Reigns, but the smart marks hate Roman Reigns.
So who do you think in WrestleMania has more chances of showing up? Triple H or Shawn Michaels, or both?
I think they'll both be there.
In matches, though. I'm not talking about just showing up.
Triple H, I think, is going to take this year off from a match.
Well, Michaels, man, he came back not too long ago.
Yeah, he came back for that Saudi blood money.
Yeah.
I don't think Shawn Michaels, because I think they would already be setting up the angle now.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see the true WrestleMania card. It's late already, but I think it's after the Saudi show.
That's the problem with the Saudi show, though, is because you really can't make any huge events from the Saudi show. You can't, it's such a bogus.
It's kind of cools off the WrestleMania build. It's kind of like pouring cold water on the WrestleMania build, because you're building to this show where the card is already kind of forming for WrestleMania. And it kind of is like a distraction from that.
Right, and you can't really work at it on the Saudi Arabian show. It's all just match after match after match.
Well, they're saying it's not, because they're saying, there's the possibility there could be a title change in Saudi Arabia, but I don't think there will be.
There won't be. No chance.
I don't think there will be either. So what's next? What do you think about the XFL? The XFL premiering, doing a 9.5 rating, 14 million views.
Well, it just shows how much people love football. XFL, if they don't do the same bullshit they did last time with guys like He Hate Me and the fucking strippers and all that bullshit, I think if it plays itself as a developmental league to the NFL, I think it could do pretty good. With other certain rules that people always want to see. Like, an example of a rule that everyone wanted to see was 2 wide receivers changing positions at the same time. You can't do that in the NFL. That opens it up. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it opens it up.
It opens up the offense. The
offense, right. So they have more rules that are kind of letting more offense be shown. And
like the CFL almost. Allowing a higher score.
Well, the CFL has not only higher scoring games, but CFL has a bigger field.
Yeah.
So there's way more room for the quarterbacks to work it out. I think that, people love football so much, and there's people right now who are just counting down the days until preseason football starts in August. So this fills up a huge gap. There's no baseball right now. No one really cares about hockey or basketball until the playoffs. So I think right now it's at a good point.
So you think it was smart to start it right after the Super Bowl?
Yeah, because there's nothing else going on. I mean, you both of NHL and NBA are going to their All-Star weekends, and it's no one cares,
And so you think it's going to be kind of like a minor league NFL in a way, where guys who are maybe dropped from the team or weren't starters in the NFL are going to get a chance to shine and kind of play for opportunities in the NFL.
Right, guys who are really studs in college, but then they got to the NFL and they didn't fit in. There's a lot of guys like that, actually.
Yeah, or got injured and get dropped from.
Yeah.
So you think, but this is the problem. So if a guy does really well in the XFL, is he going to end up staying, or is he going to go right to the NFL,
he'll go to the NFL
for the bigger contract?
Yeah, he'll go to the NFL. I mean, that is the problem with the European League, the NFL Europe League, is that these guys would be gone if they had anything at all to show for talent. The only league that ever was able to go face-to-face with NFL was the USFL, and that's only because they had Herschel Walker for a short period of time. But we'll see. I mean, XFL, if XFL can continue a high-paced game with good enough stars on their teams, I think they could do okay. I mean, they'll never be in the NFL, but I think they'll do all right.
Yeah. So if the teams are the equivalent of an NCAA team, if they're the equivalent of a college football,
as good as a very good college,
a Division I college football team,
then people will watch it.
Then people will watch it. I agree,
because people watch college football with two teams like Rutgers versus, I don't know, name your shitty team, and people will still watch it.
So Vince McMahon has to be pretty happy with 14 million views.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking about that. What made me the happiest about that is, well, then maybe he won't get rid of the app because he's making money with football. Maybe he'll be like, well, fuck it, I'm making money with football.
My big takeaway from this is I want the XFL to be very successful. So he's busy with the XFL.
Yeah.
And he lets someone else take the reins.
Yeah, he's like, Paul Heyman, why don't you just take the reins for everything, and I'll sit aside and watch the football games.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to
Yeah,
happen.
I know. It would be great, though.
But it would be great. It would be great if he kind of moves on to the XFL.
His presence at NFL or at WWE is not needed anymore.
No. Yeah. I'm actually happy that it did well. I don't think anyone expected to get 14 million views its first game.
That's crazy. I can't.
So if people like it, I mean, hopefully, I don't think it's going to stay at 14 million views, but it might.
It'll dip down to like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But it still is pretty good.
Yeah, I think the key would be, though, what they should have done is put teams in cities that don't have NFL teams.
Well, I think they should have done that for like second tier teams. Like they should have gone to Memphis a team or whatever, Tennessee has a team. But I think you got to have a team in Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. Right now, they don't have a team in Chicago.
The major markets.
And then you throw teams in places like Louisville or like Columbus.
Second
tier cities that crave the professional leagues in their town.
Yeah.
Like Worcester.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we had an XFL team.
Yeah.
We might at some point.
Yeah.
We have the size for it. I mean, people in New England obviously
love
football.
New England are fanatic about football at this point.
And another team could work here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your prediction? Do you think the XFL makes it to a second season?
Yeah, makes it to a second season for sure. I think you got to look at 3, 4, 5 seasons from now. And if like people are just burnt out of the product, they'll stop watching.
Yeah. So where do you see the XFL in 5 years?
I see it as a solid developmental league. I think.
Yeah.
And I think the best that NFL or XFL could do is if it influences NFL rules. Like if NFL looks at this and says, "Wow, that's a really good rule. We'll throw it into NFL." So we'll see.
And another question is Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, I'd love to see him show up, man.
Yeah. Do you think that we're gonna get? Do you think once the XFL does really good, and they start having the ability to pay giant contracts, are guys gonna choose the XFL over the NFL?
I think
certain stars,
small tier guy, and certain stuff like Tim Tebow would be an example.
Yeah,
I think he'd fit well in XFL.
Yeah,
I think Colin Kaepernick would fit well. I'm not sure if that's the kind of person Vince wants on the show because Vince is probably
Vince is all about headlines, though.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. A lot of people would be very negative about Colin Kaepernick still, I think. I mean, years haven't changed anything. I know who would have done good in the XFL would be Michael Vick if he was 10 years younger. He's the kind of guy that would be perfect for
What about Josh Gordon?
He'd be perfect. Josh Gordon would be perfect if he can just stay off the crack. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, another thing is, like, are we going to see XFL guys?
Antonio Bryant.
Are we going to see XFL guys in WWE? Do you think I bet there's going to be a handful of them that end up, maybe they don't make it, they get injured in the XFL, and they end up in WWE.
I can see that. Those guys are all huge, man.
Yeah. I mean, guys think about guys who are football players in wrestling. Goldberg. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
I mean,
The
Rock. What's the Baron Corbin?
Yep.
Yeah. So there's already a precedent there for that. Okay, another story. WWE is known to make name changes and have weird hang-ups on names. Buddy Murphy, they dropped his name to just Murphy now. What do you think about that?
I think Buddy's a stupid name, so I have no problem with Murphy.
Yeah, they thought it fit better with the whole he's working for Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah.
Buddy Murphy sort of sounds like a guy who listens to the fucking Creedence Clearwater or some shit. I mean,
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, he seems like some guy who like dips and drinks Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
So
Murphy does sound better, I think.
Yeah, it's more wrestling.
Yeah, just Murphy though. I always find it weird when guys have one name.
Yeah.
My name's Murphy.
Yeah. Is it your first name or your last name?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Okay, let's get to our lists, our 10 best and 10 worst gimmicks.
Well, 15 worst.
We're going to do worst gimmicks first.
Okay, start at 10.
Number 10, and this one might be controversial because a lot of people love this gimmick. I personally think this is what was wrong with the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I don't like Jerry Springer. I don't like white trash bullshit.
Yeah.
This is the epitome of white trash bullshit. It was funny. There was some. He was funny himself, but it was not what I was looking for in wrestling. Hey, ladies. Val Venus is number 10.
Val Venus had one kick-ass storyline. Is when the Japanese guys were going to cut his dick off with the katana.
Yeah.
That shit was cool. The rest of it, him coming out doing the little... He did the Ravishing Recruit thing, you know? It's like Ravishing Recruit was doing the same shit 10 years before.
Yeah. And then he showed up like 5 years later and he looked like shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Val Venus is a stupid fucking game.
Hello, ladies.
It was just total Attitude Era bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, let's try to push anything that'll be a little risque.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very Jerry Springer, daytime television, white trash.
Yeah.
It was everything that's wrong with wrestling.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Number 9, probably my even as a kid, I hated this character. One of my least favorite characters of all time is Doink the Clown.
Doink the Clown was biggest when WWE was at its lowest. He was big when like Raw first started, and Raw was in like the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah.
Where like every episode was like drawing 1,000
before
people.
When there was like the Saturday Morning Superstars.
Yeah, he started to show up at the end of Superstars too.
And there'd be matches where there'd be like multiple Doinks and a midget Doink.
There's a midget Doink. There's also guys who dress up as Doink and then actually be someone else. They whip them.
Yeah.
You know, it's stupid.
And to this day, there's still multiple Doinks on the indies right now.
Oh yeah.
Because multiple guys played Doink.
Yeah, so they'd be like Doink the Jocker, you know, Doink this, Doink that.
Okay, number 8. The Shockmaster. This guy had a stormtrooper helmet that was like sparkly, like a sparkly
stormtrooper.
Wow. The Shockmaster is fucking retarded.
But the Shockmaster would be so cool if you're 6 years old. Oh man, my favorite wrestler is the Shockmaster.
Yeah.
I think you look at it as an adult, you're like, oh god. But as a kid, man, I think you must admit you'd like the Shockmaster as a kid.
Yeah, the name it sounds like a fucking like a sex move.
Yeah, it does, but I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna give her the Shockmaster.
The Shockmaster time, baby.
Okay, just like Val Venus was everything that was wrong with the Attitude Era WWE. Number 7 was everything that was wrong with late 90s WCW, and that's the Kiss Demon.
Yeah.
This is when, at this point in WCW was bringing in bands to make them cooler. Like, they had Insane Clown Posse wrestling.
Oh god, that was horrible.
They had Master P and the No Limit Soldiers.
Horrible. And just worse than both of them is Kiss. I mean, Kiss is the worst fucking band of all time. I don't care what people say.
You're gonna get some heat for that.
I don't care. Kiss sucks. I'll say it again. Kiss sucks.
I don't like Kiss either.
They're the worst band ever.
They're fucking terrible. I think you have to have grown up in the late 70s and been a teenager or older in the late 70s to like Kiss.
My first Barbie doll sized toy was not a G.I. Joe. It was a fucking Kiss doll that my aunt bought me. And I ripped that thing to shreds.
If you had that now,
I'd be rich.
Probably worth some money.
Yeah.
This Kiss Demon was like this giant fucking dude with a Kiss face paint on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was terrible. And then Kiss had it in their contract that he couldn't lose.
Yeah.
So he was unstoppable too.
Yeah,
eventually he lost and they didn't have Kiss come back. But Kiss, no one goes to fucking wrestling to see a concert. I hate when they do live music at wrestling.
I do too. Bischoff is such a moron.
Yeah. Okay, number 6. Mr. America. So let me give you the backstory of this. Hulk Hogan lost in a match or had a contract dispute where he couldn't show up as Hulk Hogan. So he came in as Mr. America. He was like a Captain America ripoff, and he looked just like Hogan, because he was Hogan, with the fucking luchador mask on. He did all the moves Hogan did. He spoke just like Hogan.
See, I don't remember this, but I've read about it, and I thought, like, wow, that's so whack.
He even passed a lie detector test on TV.
I'm not saying he's not Hogan.
Well, they couldn't just take off his mask. It's so stupid. It's pure.
I don't know, where was I when that happened?
It's almost so bad that I like it.
Yeah.
It's almost so cheesy that I like it.
I must have been somewhere else because I don't remember that shit at all.
Number 5 is a Bruce Pritchard creation. This is straight Bruce Pritchard. Mantar. Mantar is so stupid looking.
It's a Minotaur.
It's a Minotaur, big jack guy with a Minotaur head. Who came up with Mantor and thought this is gonna get over? You know who's gonna
God.
love this? I bet there were little kids who loved it though. Who were scared of Mantor.
Mommy, Mantor. Oh
Yeah. God, this is everything that was wrong with wrestling in the early '90s.
Yeah, that's so great.
Even as a little kid, I was maybe 10 years old in the early '90s, and I fucking hated all this stupid, gimmicky bullshit. Even as a little kid, I hated it. Now I was the fucking audience for this, and I thought it was stupid, and my friends thought it was stupid. So yeah, this was bad. This was wrestling at its worst. Number 4, 7. Dustin Reynolds, Dustin Rhodes,
His first gimmick.
WCW, his gimmick, and basically he was a Undertaker with white face paint who was a pedophile.
Whose idea was this? Like,
His vignettes would be he would stare in little kids' windows at night. This is the worst gimmick.
oh, it's awesome.
This is... Oh my god! I mean, he was terrifying looking.
He was scary as Goldust, man. When he first showed up in his
Yeah, in the lingerie.
Yeah.
Number 3. This guy would go on to be probably one of the best gimmicks of all time, but here he's the worst. Isaac Yankem.
The dentist with bad teeth.
A giant dentist with yellow, disgusting teeth. He would later become Kane.
Yeah. I mean, Kane is cool. Kane's okay. I wouldn't say he's cool.
Kane's cool. Kane's not as cool as people think Kane is.
He's a fake Undertaker. He always will be.
Yeah. I mean, that story angle was cool for the time.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work nowadays. Number 2 is a group of guys. One of these, the Spirit Squad. A group of male cheerleaders. Okay, imagine this. Imagine you train your whole life to become a professional wrestler. You go to wrestling school. You work the indies. You get signed by WWE. And they decide to put you in a group of male cheerleaders.
And if you're Dolph Ziggler,
Yeah.
I mean, actually, look at Dolph Ziggler. His career hasn't gotten much better than that.
He's had highs and I love Dolph.
I love Dolph too, man, but Dolph has been buried so many times.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can ever take him legitimately again or seriously. He is the modern day Red Rooster, Coco Beware.
Yeah.
You know,
Unfortunately, because he's got
unfortunately,
skill.
he's got a lot of skill and he's a bump machine.
Yeah, he'll take bumps the whole time.
That's
he
probably
sells
why.
it really well.
That's probably why he never got over. He's so good at putting other people over that they continuously put him in that role.
Yeah.
Taking bumps. He was the standout of the Spirit Squad, obviously.
I don't even know the other guys. You?
Yeah, no. And he would later go on to be fucking Chavo Guerrero's caddy.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit.
When he had the fucking when he became like this
white guy.
The white guy, yeah. Number 1, this is the worst wrestling gimmick of all time. As a kid, I was trying to figure out whether those were his muscles or if that was just a suit, or I was also trying to figure out whether they wanted us to believe that was actually his body. When it was obviously an outfit. That was Giant Gonzalez. He's this big skinny guy with fake muscles.
So bad.
And hair. He had a leotard on, a full body leotard that was covered in hair and fake muscles. and then they put him over like he was the fucking ultimate bad guy, unstoppable force. You thought Great Khali was bad.
Yeah, Great Khali at least was big and like he had a
Yeah, Great Khali. This was Great Khali 1.0. That's who Giant Gonzalez was.
So bad.
And it didn't work with Great Khali, and it definitely didn't work with Giant Gonzalez.
No.
Okay, we're gonna move to some better gimmicks. Do you have any honorable mentions for worst gimmicks?
Well, I was gonna put in Khali.
Khali's, yeah, the Punjabi. Remember the Punjabi fucking prison match with Randy Orton?
Oh yeah.
It was like a bamboo fucking steel cage.
Yeah.
And fucking it was horrible. That was so horrible. And when they brought Khali in, he was like a monster.
Yeah.
He's a monster heel. Okay, we're gonna do 10. We're gonna do 10 best gimmicks. Well, I'm gonna mention 11 through 15, but I don't want this podcast to be 5 hours long. So 15 was Godfather, who I like. I like the Godfather, the Ho Train.
Ho Train.
This is also could be put in the Val Venus, but come on, who doesn't like a pimp?
I know.
A cool pimp, especially I love like 70s black exploitation movies.
Yeah.
So I mean, he wasn't as cool as Superfly. But he was like...
Well, we're going to get some hate saying that he's on our top list and having Val Venus on our last list, but...
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. Send the hate down below. Comment down below. You can also email me at capital B, BlueMilk, capital MILK77 @gmail.com. BlueMilk77 @gmail.com with any hate or questions or comments.
Who's next?
Next is Rey Mysterio.
Oh, I love it.
We gotta love Rey.
Gotta love Rey. He's getting really old now, and he's kind of getting the old 619 is kind of getting old.
I gotta say, my favorite Rey was WCW Rey Mysterio.
Oh, he was awesome, but then he's also 30 years old now. He's
Until he lost his mask.
Yeah, that was awful. I don't know why they did that. That's so stupid.
So, do you think Rey Mysterio will retire this year?
Yes. He's 50 years old. He's going to work on training his son, who has no body for wrestling right now, but apparently wants to be a wrestler. So he's going to have to train.
He doesn't look like he wants to be a wrestler.
Oh, he looked awful, man.
He's
no build at all.
His son Dominic Mysterio he does not look like a wrestler. He looks like a civilian, complete civilian. Hopefully, maybe that turns around. I think it's more the fact that Rey wants his son to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
it's more one of those situations. Number 13, Ultimate Warrior.
Oh yeah. Gotta love Ultimate Warrior. He is really limited in the ring.
Yeah,
but he was just so cool. When they used to be a Saturday Night Main Event, and there's one where he showed up and he fought with Randy Savage, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and looking back, it's probably like, oh man, that was a skillless match, but it was so awesome.
It didn't matter. You didn't care back then. When you were a kid, you didn't care. He fought the way he grabbed onto the ropes. He was fucking electric.
And he ran. He had the things around his arms and shit.
He was a hybrid between Savage and Hogan.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He wasn't as good of a babyface as Hogan, and he wasn't as good of a wrestler or talker as Savage, but he kind of had traits of both guys. And you could tell that WWE really wanted to make him the next Hogan. It just didn't quite work out.
WCW brought him back, didn't they, without a mask on, without his face paint? He was old looking.
He was like the warrior. He was just the warrior.
The warrior,
yeah. He came back in the late 90s for WWE, and it didn't work out. He was no-showing, and there's a lot of problems with him backstage. He's continued to have problems, and up till his death, say really terrible things about people in WWF. But he did eventually go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
People love him. People who grew up late 80s, early 90s, were kids in that era, love the Ultimate Warrior.
I love the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. Number 12, Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man was the ultimate heel.
Yeah.
He was just, he never went, I don't think he ever went face.
Big, thick redneck.
Yeah, you can see, like, if you get in trouble for something stupid and you're in jail, and that's the guy who's your jail.
That's your CO.
That's your CO, you're fucking scared. And that's what he was. He's a big bastard CO.
Cuff people and beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Big Boss Man. And he actually had a consistent through the Attitude Era. Remember, he changed his look and he had like the SWAT team outfit on?
Yeah. He's more like a SWAT guy.
Yeah, he's had a couple different incarnations of the Big Boss Man. And for a big guy, he could really move.
Oh, yeah.
He was agile, yeah.
He had that kick. He'd throw you against the ropes and he'd just kick you in the face.
It was like a high kick.
Yeah.
It was almost like Sheamus's bro kick.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
Yeah. Number 11, we talked about him earlier. Undertaker's brother, Kane.
Kane has always been cool, man.
Yeah, especially the first angle with Kane. When he first showed up, the best part about Kane was before he spoke, when he would just turn his head like a dog.
Yeah,
he wouldn't say anything. When you
had the fake hair coming down and shit.
Almost like a puppy, like a confused puppy. He would tilt his head. I always liked Kane, and he's even if he he's not my favorite. He's not one of my favorites. Just pure longevity. And how many people do really love Kane?
And he's had a lot of different angles too.
Yeah, and he has the whole fire thing when he fucking drops his hands down and the rope and the fire shoots out of the turnbuckles.
Yeah, I mean he was a main eventer for a long time. So he's definitely on the list.
Yeah, definitely has to be one of the top gimmicks. I could say that I don't know if this gimmick could go over now, but then you look at Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
and that's going over.
Basically what Bray Wyatt is.
So it doesn't work for everybody. I've heard a lot of people who don't like Bray Wyatt. They don't like the mystical side of wrestling.
I think that's great.
But it's just always been part of WWE. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't work. It doesn't really work in the territory type era.
Well, there's the people who think that wrestling should be fake real, and it's never.
It's all shoot. I like the idea of it mostly being shoot sport, realistic. But with WWE, you're always going to have that element of supernatural,
supernatural type shit.
But it wouldn't work for NWA Power.
No.
And it wouldn't work for AEW because AEW is more of a shoot sport.
Yeah.
Real sport.
Well, you look at the guys at AEW signed, they're all fucking shooters. I mean, Jericho and
there's none of the mystical stuff going on.
Yeah.
Except for the dinosaur guy.
Oh, what the
the tall dinosaur. He has the dinosaur mask.
Yeah, I forget his name, but
yeah. That whole tag team.
Luchasaurus, yeah.
Okay, number 10. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. The Honky Tonk Man.
I hated the Honky Tonk Man as a kid. I couldn't stand him.
Because he's such a good heel.
He was such a good heel. I remember being like, oh, fuck, Honky Tonk Man.
Especially being guys from the Northeast. Like, a guy like the Honky Tonk Man would get over it down south, but for guys like us, we're like, oh, look at this redneck guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, and the thing is, he was like,
we don't like Elvis. Like, we didn't grow up on Elvis up here.
He was a WWF dude for a long time. He was in every stable that was like a good stable. He'd always find his way in. Bobby the Brain Heenan, when he was in the stable.
Yeah.
There was one WrestleMania where like Heenan's stable was all champions, and one of them was the Honky Tonk Man, but also Jimmy the Mouth of the
South, yeah.
He was he mostly worked for the South. That's what we gotta do is a list of best managers.
I think the Honky Tonk Man down south would be a heel, but being in a territory like the WWF, where it was Northeast, culturally, Elvis just isn't relevant culturally up here, like he is down south, and he's just a natural heel, like a kind of a southern heel character. You know what I mean?
He's like Bobby Valentine.
Yeah. Okay, number 9, Mankind. I'm gonna do Mankind / Cactus Jack / Dude Love. My favorite of the 3 is Cactus Jack.
Yeah, Cactus Jack. He's like dude from The Big Lebowski, but
that was more Dude Love.
Yeah.
Cactus Jack was more like this Texas hardcore guy.
See, I like Mankind the best. I think I don't know.
He had the best. I think Mankind had the best promos.
Yeah.
Like those whiny promos. The one of Jim Ross when he was screaming at Jim Ross, and he had probably the most iconic hardcore match of all time between The Undertaker.
That match was the best.
Yeah.
I remember watching it live. I was like, holy shit. Me and my friends were watching. I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Like when they said, "Oh my god," I was like, he wasn't moving. I was like, "This dude is dead."
Okay, next number. Where was I? Number 8. Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man.
I went to a house show in '86, and $1 Million Man came out, and all the kids ran to the front, and he was passing out $100 bills. And the guy I was with got a $100 bill.
Oh.
He was like right next to me. I was the next hand over. It sucked. But that was just a cool gimmick, man. The rich guy who like passes money out. He had a slave.
That was Virgil.
Virgil, his slave. It was so fucked up.
Who became Vincent later in WCW.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, you don't realize how fucked up that is. But that was some fucked up shit. But he was just an awesome heel, man. He's the kind of guy that like he should always was a heel. You can't make the $1 Million Man, fucking Ted DiBiase, a good guy.
They should have given Ted DiBiase a long run with the title, world champion. They never gave. I think he would have been great early '90s.
Early '90s, yeah, pre-Raw.
Instead of doing that whole angle with Sergeant Slaughter as the heel when he went over and remember he was like on Saddam Hussein's side.
Yeah,
They should have had Ted DiBiase in that role instead. I love $1 Million Man. I thought he was one of the best talkers, one of the coolest heels, other than the slave. But then they create storyline where Virgil turned on him.
He was a boxer.
Remember, the crowd went nuts.
Yeah, the crowd went crazy. That was an awesome.
I really watched that. Number 7, Demolition.
There comes the axe. Here comes the smasher. Yeah, they're dope.
Yeah, axe and smash.
Axe and smash, baby.
And then Crush was later on.
Crush, yeah. And who is Crush?
He became the Hawaiian Crush.
The Hawaiian Crush, that's right.
Crush had his own kind of solo career, but Demolition was awesome.
Axe and Smash.
Yeah. But the group that was the cooler version of Demolition was the Road Warriors.
Hell yeah, the Road Warriors. The Demolition was a direct copy of the Road Warriors.
Number 6 is the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors was one of the coolest gimmicks ever.
Yeah, they had the spikes coming out of the football pads and shit.
And this was a time when tag team wrestling was really at its height. Like the Road Warriors had a huge run in the territory days.
You had the Steiners, you had the Rock and Roll Express, you had the Can-Am Express, you had a lot of good teams.
Yeah, you had a lot.
The Bees,
the Midnight Express, the Killer Bees. Oh yeah, I fucking love the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors are awesome. Number 5, Razor Ramon.
Yeah, if you don't love Razor Ramon already, go back and watch him.
Yeah.
Because he was so... Technically in the ring, he was fucking amazing for a big guy. But the fact that he put over this stupid fucking character in Razor Ramon.
Yeah, and he basically Razor Ramon was just Scarface.
Yeah, he's Scarface. Everyone hated him.
He was a coke dealing Scarface. Eventually, he got over because he was so good at being a bad guy.
Yeah, bad guy.
That he became good, and he had the coolest finisher, the Razor's Edge.
Right, and also he put his best buddy 1-2-3 Kid over.
Yeah,
I mean, who else could put 1-2-3 Kid over? He had no build at all. He had no business as a wrestler.
Yeah, watching that episode of Raw.
When he took the money and ran?
When 1-2-3 Kid actually pinned and beat Razor Ramon.
And then grabbed the bag of money that Razor Ramon put up and he ran into the crowd.
We never saw job guys win at that point. Because he came in, 1-2-3 Kid came in as a Sean Waltman, as a job guy.
He was a jobber. He was like on a level of like not Junkyard Dog, fucking Brooklyn Brawler. But they wanted to push him. But we all thought he was just another job guy. He has a squash match.
That's why that was so crazy because that never happened back then. But Razor Ramon was awesome, and no matter how many times he lost, he always came out looking great.
Right, and even when he was Scott Hall, when he used to come out, he had the toothpick and throw it at you. Hey yo.
Yeah,
so awesome.
All his mannerisms. He just had the ring psychology.
He was great.
Yeah, he's one of the best heels of all time. Number 4, one of the most disturbing characters of all time is Goldust.
Oh God, he come out, he'd be
lingerie.
Yeah,
and
creepy.
Vince tells a story that he actually wanted to get a boob job for that character. He was gonna get fake. He was gonna get fake tits to put over that character, more realistic.
Well, I mean, they could have really used like a padded bra.
Yeah.
Like a really fucking padded bra and put it under that new suit. That would have been funny, I think.
But Goldust, as he was then, wouldn't fly nowadays with the whole transgender community.
Yeah, there'd be too much. There's just backlash.
How sensitive people. Eventually, he kind of lost the girly aspect of that gimmick, and Goldust was able to kind of transform throughout the eras.
But to me, when I see him wrestle as Dustin Reynolds, I still think of Goldust. I think, Goldust.
Yeah. But eventually, Goldust was like cool. He wasn't like the trans.
But he was way more over as the tranny.
Yeah.
As the heel tranny.
Yeah, definitely. Number 3, I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan, and this is why number 3 is awesome to me. Was Sergeant Slaughter. I loved G.I. Joe as a kid. I still do, and he was I think the only wrestler that was in. Comics, cartoons, and a real life character.
Right, and also actually he showed up at NXT this week and he looked good.
Yeah,
he looked just the same as he had looked 20 years from now.
Yeah, I really like Sergeant Slaughter. Other than the fact that he tells people that he was in the Vietnam War when he wasn't. Yeah, it's a little weird, but I think he does that to stay in kayfabe. Yeah, kayfabe. He was from a different era where guys stayed in kayfabe.
Right. He had the strong style. I mean, he wasn't. He's kind of the generation where everyone had a strong style. Yeah. There's Jimmy Superfly Snuka was the fucking, the guy, the out of control guy, Yeah. But yeah, Sergeant Slaughter's awesome, man. Yeah. The G.I. Joe movie that he was main character in was just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a great character. Great promo. Yeah. High energy, that great 80s promo.
Yeah, the screaming. Yo!
Number 2, not regular Sting, but Crow Sting.
Look back at when you were a kid and you're watching this shit, and all of a sudden they'd show Sting up in the rafters with a baseball bat, just hanging out with a fucking trench coat on. How jacked up were you?
Yeah, that whole year of wrestling is my favorite year of wrestling.
Oh man, the pops that people would get those days. Sting had the biggest pop of all of those guys.
Yeah, NWO was running wild over WCW and wrestling.
They needed a savior.
Sting was in the rafters. Sting was the vigilante, the Batman.
Lights would turn off, and all of a sudden Sting would be behind you with a fucking bat. Oh man, Sting was awesome.
That was an awesome gimmick.
And actually, I like the fucking high flying Sting as well. But I mean, he's not on this top list.
The Stinger Sting, yeah.
The Stinger Sting too, but man, Crow Sting was awesome.
Yeah, Crow Sting was cool.
And I guess apparently it's going to come back. They're talking about him showing up in WrestleMania.
Yeah, or
under some kind of pretense. I'm not sure what he's going to be.
Well, I think people want to see the Sting Undertaker match. I mean, that would have been cool in 2006.
Yeah,
and I don't think that would work.
If that was going to happen, they would have already hyped it by now. But I think Sting should show up at some point.
Yeah, he's 61 years old.
Yeah,
but if he can go, he can go.
He looks like he's 40, 50.
Yeah. And number 1, we just talked about him, The Undertaker. Best gimmick of all time.
Yeah.
Coolest gimmick of all time. I was actually terrified of him as a kid. When he came out, the way his eyes rolled back in his head.
And he's legit a top 5 wrestler. I mean, a lot of these guys are really like great wrestlers as gimmicks, but he legitimately is up there with like Hogan and like the other greats of all time.
Yeah, and this year's WrestleMania will be 30 years, his debut. 30 years as The Undertaker.
He looks the same.
Yeah, he looks great. He looks better now than he looked 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's put on some serious muscle. Okay, so that's our list of 15 best gimmicks. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Check out our other episodes of Fuck I Love Wrestling and Fuck I Love Star Wars. We're going to have an episode of Fuck I Love Star Wars tomorrow. We're going to try to give you guys 3 episodes a week.
Right.
So like, subscribe, share, and comment down below.
And good luck to Joker tonight at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, good luck to Joker. Have a good one. Peace.